But I want to interview some people about what do they think of what is going on in Jamaica. Come here a minute for me. You know, your views on the whole protest here this afternoon in front of the American embassy. You're from the Jamaican embassy rather. You're from Up Jamaica, a political movement in Jamaica. Why did you come out here?
I come out here because Jamaica has too much corruption. The crime is bad, everything is bad. The healthcare system needs to change, and we need to change it now. Corruption needs to change, and we need to change it now. Crime needs to change, we need to change it now. Running water we need to change that now. The road needs to get fixed, we need to change that now. If the Chinese are getting incentives to come to Jamaica to invest, say it's 5%, Jamaicans should get 10%. I'm not against giving incentives, but we have to give it to Jamaican people too. Jamaican people are suffering under this administration. I don't care which administration. As a matter of fact, they give them over 200% increase, and they give the civil servant 20% increase. Let's flip it. Let's give them 20% and give the civil servant 200%. Let's take care of Jamaica because they're self-serving. They're supposed to serve the people, and they're only serving themselves. And we need to promote Jamaica, and that's why I'm here, to promote Jamaica.
Last week we had a demonstration in Washington, D.C. That's the Diaspora, who was demonstrating against corruption and crime in Jamaica. And the Diaspora is actually nonpartisan. We don't care about PNP or GLP because they have more or less stolen from the Jamaican people over and over again. They have benefited themselves, very self-serving. And as you can see that in the increase that they gave themselves, over 200% to the politicians and probably about 20% to civil servants. Now, the Prime Minister touched on something that's very dear to me as it relates to freedom of expression, freedom of thought, and in general, freedom to move around and to rule myself. If we look at the Jamaican Constitution in Chapter 3, it talks about fundamental rights and freedom, specifically Section 13, Item 3A through 3S. It speaks about your rights as a Jamaican to dictate your destiny. We got to remember that history is the greatest teacher. We have to look at history and see what past administrations have done to Jamaica, right? We are descendants of our ancestors who fought for justice. And we need to honor those ancestors. Because if we don't rule ourselves, I'm guaranteeing you, we'll be ruled by others. And here we have the government seeking to violate the Constitution by trying to take away our rights and freedom of speech by Jamaicans in the social media. But let me say something. The rights and freedom of Jamaica must, and I say must be protected at all costs. We will never compromise our freedom to the servants of the people. If you're serving the people, you serve the people. You don't take away their freedom. And every time you take a little and a little, and you put fear in people, the minute we take away fear out of this equation, then we'll realize how powerful we are. We will never give up our freedom of speech and expression in Jamaica. Never. There'll be no censorship to free speech. And we will not bow. Yes, you can speak to the Integrity Commission and tell them they can't disclose who the illicit six are. And that's fair enough, because by law, you kind of cap what they can say and what they can't say. But I'm going to tell you this. We, the Jamaican people, will never bow to censorship of free speech. I'm with Up Jamaica, movement of the people. And we have also aligned ourselves with the Jamaica Unity Alliance. And at this level, we're trying to unite the country. But I'm asking students, college students, high school students, please study the Constitution. It's not in a curriculum in the schools because they know if you know the truth, they'll never rule over you. Let's rule for ourselves. Let's be strong. And let's get rid of crime and corruption in Jamaica once and for all. The time is ripe. And you must decide what you want for yourself, your children, and your children's children. And these are primarily for the young people who spend a lot of money going to colleges. And you come out, you can't find a job. But yet, you're stuck with student loans. Debt you can't pay because the jobs that you get after going to colleges and universities cannot pay the bill. We need to change the corruption. We need to flip the script on these politicians, both the GLP and the PNP. Because what they did is they came together and they voted on a bill to give themselves increases. And after the bill was passed, they tried to distance themselves from the bill, saying, oh, I don't want this and I don't need this. But yet, they gave themselves over 200% increase. We're going to flip the script. Yeah, we're going to flip the script. Give the civil servants 200%. And you take 20%. For the folks who are invested in Jamaica, the foreigners, the Chinese, Spain, all these places that's getting incentives to come to Jamaica to provide jobs and not paying your fair share of taxes, you should pay your fair share of taxes. The incentive that you're getting, the Jamaican people and businesses first locally should get double that incentive. If you get 5%, they should get 10%. We need to have a level playing field. The beaches that you're coming and you're taking to provide for tourism, to make money off Jamaican people also need to have access to those beaches. Yep. Each resort need to have a space for local Jamaicans who live in Jamaica, who maintain Jamaica, so that you can come, the tourists can come and enjoy yourself. And you investors who invest in Jamaica and take the profits out of our country. We need to make a change, Jamaicans. We have to make a change. If we keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. Make the change. Either join Up Jamaica, the Jamaica Unity Alliance, the Jamaica Patriotic Movement, the Marcus Garvey Movement. We have Tancor. We need to protect so many people in Jamaica, the Maroons, the Tainos. What is being done to protect Jamaican people on a whole? We have to change it. And changes only comes from within. Because freedom isn't really free.
You are welcome back. So in this video, Jamaicans in the diaspora organized themselves together in order to stage a protest against the government of Jamaica for some things that are not going well in the country of Jamaica. And I think if these diasporans put themselves together, this will be a right time for Jamaica to develop. This will be a right time for Jamaica to be on track, because these politicians just do things anyhow they want and do not take into consideration what the effects will be on the ordinary Jamaicans. And I think the Jamaicans in the diaspora has a strong voice which will call the government into the right direction or on the right path. So this interview was granted by one of the activists who went for these protests in Washington, D.C. And these are some of the things that he put across. And I think these are worth discussing in the sense that the ordinary Jamaican's life is not valued by the average politician in Jamaica. And some of these things that he mentioned in this video are very valid points. Now, there are a lot of Jamaicans in the diaspora, and I can say the majority of them are people who are very well educated. They are people who really have some financial backing since they have worked in the diaspora. So if these people put themselves together, I can tell you that the government will change some of its decisions and look in the right direction to improve the livelihood of the people of Jamaica. Now, these are some of the things that he stated or hinted in the video. First of all, he spoke about corruption. Now, there has been high rate of corruption in the Jamaican government. Wherever you go on the internet, and most especially on social media, Jamaican government is said to be corrupt. Now, there is a news article which even reviews the illicit six, which is parliamentarians from Jamaica who have misconducted themselves, and they are under investigation by the IC, that is the Integrity Commission of Jamaica. Now, the names of these people were requested to be put out, but the government insisted that their names should never be put out because a lot of power has been vested in the Prime Minister. So whatever he says is what these institutions take into consideration. So there are lots of issues of corruption in the government which needs to be dealt with. Otherwise, development cannot move on smoothly. Also, there is high rate of crime in the country of Jamaica, just as he hinted over there. And I think the country needs to invest more in security so that some of these petty crimes do not happen. Because Jamaica's population is not so huge. They number about 3 million people. So I think securing 3 million people should not be so much difficult than if you have a population that were to be very large. So the country needs to look at crime and security of the people of Jamaica. He also hinted on the healthcare system in Jamaica, that some hospitals are not well resourced. I once watched a video of this hospital known as the St. Margaret's Hospital or Princess Margaret Hospital. They had to stage a demonstration before just some basic things that are needed were even provided for them. So the healthcare system in Jamaica is not the best, and the government need to do a lot to help the healthcare system in Jamaica, in the sense that the ordinary Jamaican who may be suffering any health condition will not have the resources or the money to travel out of Jamaica in order to seek better health care. But if a politician is not feeling well, majority of them fly out of the country, go to these developed countries in order to seek better health care. Meanwhile, the ordinary Jamaican can never be given such priorities. So the government needs to look at the healthcare system and then provide a lot of resources to get them well equipped and well resourced so that the healthcare system will be very good for the ordinary Jamaican. Also, social amenities such as water, electricity should also be made accessible. He also hinted that there are some places that are having problems with water. So the government also need to look at this as well. Then he also hinted on incentives, and this is a point that I want to dwell on. Now, the government of Jamaica has given opportunity for foreign nationals to come into the country so that they will be able to do business in the country and create job opportunity for the locals in Jamaica. That is the intention. Now, when these people are being enticed to come to Jamaica, they are given higher incentives. They are given some tax holidays, sometimes I think 5 years tax holidays. They don't pay any tax and all that, so that jobs can be created in the country of Jamaica. But for the ordinary Jamaican who also wants to open a business, these incentives are not given to the ordinary Jamaican. Look at the irony in this. If I am a Jamaican and I want to open jobs for the people of Jamaica to benefit from, I am not given any incentive. But if a Chinese, a Spanish, someone from outside is coming to create jobs in Jamaica, that person is given incentive. This should not be so. This will not even help the ordinary Jamaican to be able to compete with the foreign companies that are coming in. So I think there should be this level playing ground, just as hinted in this video. And to the politician, now when they wanted to increase the salaries or remuneration of the politician, it was increased to about 200% for the politicians. Meanwhile, the civil servants, the average worker in Jamaica, had only about 20%. And this is not fair at all. Politicians just take the citizenry for nothing, and they don't even care about the citizens. Why would you increase your salary as a politician by 200%? And that's of the civil servant only 20%. If it is 20%, it should be 20% across board. If you are doing it 200% across board, you shouldn't give yourself 10 times more than what the average Jamaican will get. This goes to show the level of greediness that these politicians are. They are very greedy. They think of only themselves and what they will get alone, and not what the citizen or the people will get. When they are put in this place of influence, power, they only think about themselves. Now also, the youth were encouraged in this video to learn the Constitution very well. College students, high school students were all encouraged to learn the Constitution very, very well, because that is the governing power of the people of Jamaica. Now, if you don't know your Constitution, people will just run over you because you don't know what your rights and your privileges are. But if you have studied the Constitution very well and you know what exactly is required of you and required of the government, you will call the government to order whenever things are not going right. Now, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching this far. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. First, share this video, and then also subscribe to the channel. Locate the subscribe button down here. Click on the subscribe button. Click as well on the notification bell, and I'd like to see you again in my next video.